Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, commercial free and no big music intro. I like to get right to the game talk, so we don't have those things here. The game I'm going to be talking about today is Tungaru. Tungaru is a game designed by Louis and Stefan Maltz. And the art is by Andrew Bosley. Andrew Bosley also did a game that we have called Tapestry from Stonemaier Games. But Louis and Stefan Maltz are very good board game designers. They have a game called Valparaiso. If you've played that, I've played that. It's a good game, Valparaiso. They also were co-designers on a game I have yet to play, Rococo. I never could get a copy of Rococo, the original print run, so I backed the Kickstarter for Rococo Deluxe, and I have that waiting in line to be played. But they were co-designers on that game also. So very good board game designers. This game in particular plays 2 to 5 players. 60 to 90 minutes, it takes 90. It's a dice worker placement game. That's the main mechanic in this game. So you have a stack of tiles here that are replacement tiles when the nomads are recruited. That's what they're called, these nomads. And those, once they reach the board and the supply spaces become empty, that will trigger the end of the game. Everybody gets another turn. The main function of this game is this hand of cards that everybody is going to have. And you have you have a hand of 5 cards. And all of the cards do something different. And I'll read them to you real quick. There's a worker, a trader, a fisher, a beggar, and a chief. Each card has 4 functions at the bottom of the card. Now in a 2-player game, which is the only way I've played this game, one of those in the bottom left-hand corner on every card says 3+. You can't use that in a 2-player game. And that sure didn't hurt the game whatsoever. Because I tell you, I'm in love with this game. And I didn't expect this. I backed this on Kickstarter. I did not expect the game to be as good as it was. I thought it was going to be a good game. I watched it played by somebody else on another channel. And I enjoyed it enough that I thought, you know what, I'm going to back that game. And I did back this game. And I just got it the other day and I wanted to play it. And the first time I played it, I thought, wow, what was that? I did not expect this game to be so deep. And at the end of the game, Lori and I both looked at each other and like, wow, I mean, there was a lot to that game. And we immediately wanted to play it again. Well, the next day when I came home from work, we still had it sitting on the table and we played it again. And I'm going to tell you, I'm in love with this game. This game is going to be in my top 10 for 2020 and very high in my top 10 for 2020. There's so much I love about this game and I did not expect to love it. I just love the card mechanic that you use in this game. You select one of these cards and there's so much thought that goes into just that. It's the first thing you do is, well, not the first thing you do. The first player will roll their 3 dice. Okay, let's start from scratch. The first player rolls their 3 dice and they're going to take those 3 dice, put them in their boat, and then the other players all have to use those numbers. In other words, if you're the green player, I rolled a 1, 6, and a 5, so this green player is going to have a 1, 6, and a 5. So everybody gets the same numbers. Whatever the first player rolled, everybody's going to use those dice, those numbers, those values in their 3 dice in their boat on the board. So that is pretty cool. So you can't really blame bad dice rolling, which I'm a bad dice roller. So this is nice for guys like me that don't roll good dice. So it really doesn't matter. Whatever is rolled is rolled. And everybody uses the same dice values. So wherever your boat happens to be, you load those dice in your boat and you're going to use those dice to do different actions in the islands where you happen to be sitting. But the first thing you're going to do to begin the round is roll those dice, and then you have to select one of these cards out of your hand. And what makes that difficult is it's really nice because you know the dice that you have. So you're making a plan in your head of what you want to do. You know, do you want to recruit one of the nomads? Do you have enough resources to do that? Do you need to gather resources and go to this harvest spaces or the market? You can go to the market and do a trading action. Or do you want to settle, where you take one of your settlers, get him on an island, and then you can take an extra action on your turn later on in the game. without using a die. So that's pretty cool too. So there's so much to think about. And the things that you have to think about are on these cards, because you have resources you can get. Do your dice that you have on the board that you rolled to begin this round, are those dice going to get you the resources you need to do a recruit action or to do a settle action or whatever action you want to be taking? Each one of these cards in the upper right hand corner has a special action. In the case of the worker, you get to roll your 4th die and use that by putting it on this worker card. That gets you like an extra turn. So that's pretty cool. Just your worker. The trader allows you to do a trading action without using a die or one of your settlers that you have on the board. That's pretty cool. And then again, you still have 2 other actions you can take. For instance, if you see on the trader here, this trader card, you can substitute, and when making a purchase, any goods for any goods. In other words, everything's wild. So you can use that action. It tells you right on the card, you have to tap it, put it sideways, because you can only do it one time on your turn. But there's 3 things on every one of these cards you can do. And that's pretty cool. I could go through all of them, but I'm not going to because the video would be too long. But the cool thing about it is, once you use that card and the round is over, you're going to give that card to your opponent. And you are going to take their card. So you're always trading cards like that. And you'd think that that wouldn't be good in a 2-player game, and it's not. It's great. It works great. And you can manipulate that because there's only 2 of you. So it's like you can plan, the chief gets you first player privileges. When do I want to take that first player marker from them? When do I want to do that? Well, not only do you have to consider that, but on this card also, you can get 2 fish. Do I need to get 2 fish? Also, on the bottom right hand corner on this card, you can use one of your actions and you'll have to tap this card once you do, but you can flip 2 tiles from island to island. So you could take the tile from this island and put it down here, or excuse me, from this island and put it down here on this island. So that's one of the things you can do on that card. So you have to consider all 3 things on the card before you choose it. If your opponent uses their worker, for instance, and you get that worker card, and you still have your worker card in your hand, that gives you 2 worker cards. So at some point in the game, you're going to be able to use the workers and get a 4th turn. And that is pretty cool. Now, how long do you hang on to those before you use it? How long do you hang on to that worker? That's some of the strategy in this game, is manipulating this hand of cards. It's going back and forth between you and your opponent. Oh man, that is so cool. And there's so much to think about. Man, I tell you what, this game is twisted. It will wring your brain out trying to think of all the things you can do between these cards and placing those dice. It is such a rich, engaging game. I just didn't expect it to be that awesome. But man, like I say, we played it again yesterday, and man, I tell you, I'm in love with this game. Absolutely in love with it. You are going to be placing monuments. Once you recruit nomads off the board, you place monuments on the board. I told you about placing the settlers. And let's see what all we got on the board. You can sail, so you can move your ship around the board. I told you about the harvest action, the settle action, the trade action, I told you can do, the travel action, which you can move one of your settlers. If you have a settler on the board, you can move that settler to another island, if you wish. And you can recruit a nomad. And to make those things happen, again, you have to have the right resources to do that. So you're planning those resources, trying to get those resources, and using them to benefit yourself as far as recruiting, settling, and so forth. And then also, there's a huge set collection thing in this game. Every one of these has an action at the bottom of the tile, and you're going to have to ask yourself, am I planning well enough when I'm recruiting these nomads to daisy chain some of the stuff together to get a lot of points at the end of the game? Because that's part of it. You have to get tiles that are going to work together to get you the most points possible at the end of the game. So it's not just recruiting a tile, a nomad, to get this resource. This is a coconut. If you can see on that tile, it says plus coconut. So at the end of every round, you're going to get 1 coconut. Well, that's great. At the bottom, it tells you you're going to get paid for resources that you have on your player mat at the end of the game. So you have to plan for that. So there's a lot more that goes in, a lot more thought that goes into recruiting nomads in this game. And by the way, all of these tiles, the nomads, you can see the people are the nomads on the tiles, and it's a UV, spot UV on every tile. So that's really beautiful. But man, I'm telling you what, this game is incredible. I couldn't believe how much I loved it so quickly. Again, the first time I played it, I thought, what the heck was that? What just happened? This game is incredible. And it's on this little board. And you know how I love that. Its footprint is very small, and you have a small player mat that you're using, your deck of cards, and I'm telling you, it took us 90 minutes to play it, but I'm telling you what, it was a beautiful experience. And if you like games like, I'm trying to think about small footprint games that play huge, Santa Maria, La Granja, any of the Felds, Luna, Notre Dame. If you like those kind of small Euro games like that, you're going to be in love with this game. Tungaru is a medium to heavy game. And it's medium to heavy because there's so much to think about, but it plays very smoothly. It's just that you're going to be agonizing over the choices that you make. So that it lends itself to being a medium to medium heavy type of Euro game. And again, this game is going to be way up in my top 10 for 2020. Did not expect that out of Tungaru, and I am just so glad I backed this on Kickstarter. And I think it was relatively inexpensive, $50, something like that, which isn't bad. In this game, we got all these little, let me see what all we got. That's the rule book. But we have all these screen printed monuments in the 5 different player colors. And they could have been a little better for the yellow and green. Those are probably the worst examples of this screen printing. The rest of them are gorgeous. But the green and the yellow, that's one of the complaints I have about this game is the green and yellow, you can hardly see the screen printing, but the blue and the red and the purple just look awesome with the screen printing on the monument. So that's pretty cool. Very pretty indeed. The board is gorgeous. The tiles are gorgeous. And also in this game you get 4 sets of tiles that go randomly on this board. You can, let me show you something. There's resource tiles already printed on the board, so you can just use those. Or you get 4 different sets of these to put out on the board that changes the game every time you play it. It's so crazy. And not only does that change the game, but you never know how these nomads are going to come out. Some of these tiles pay you points as you turn in resources. So let's say I had a tile that gave me 10 points once a round for turning in one of these pearls. And that really helped me out in this game. Once around, and I did it once around. I did it like 5 or 6 times. I was able to get 10 points. Yeah, did I do it 5 or 6 times? Maybe 4 times. But still, 4 times is 40 points. So I'm getting 40 points, and that was the only scoring tile that had come out in the game. So Lori had to build her strategy in a different way, because there are other scoring tiles, but they were in this stack, and they came out kind of late in the game, so she wasn't able to do what I was doing by making points during the game. All her scoring came at the end of the game, and that is part of the beauty of this game. Like I say, every one of these tiles is different, and they're going to come out different, and the game will change every time you play it because of these, because of the nomad tiles. I'm telling you, this game is really a freak of nature. I love it. I'm thrilled that it was this good, and this is the best game, I think, by these 2 guys. It's a father-son team, by the way, Lewis and Stefan Maltz. Of course, I haven't played Rococo, but this game is excellent, absolutely excellent. I want to tell you guys about it, and I hope you get a chance to play this game. And I got all wooden resources here that are kind of cool. We got fish, coconuts that are brown, we got shells, and we got pearls, and all of these monuments that come in 5 different player colors. Monuments, dice, little boats that you put the dice in on the board, and you get, like I say, 4 sets of these resource and market tiles that are different every time you play the game. I'm telling you what, this is so awesome. And this is I'm going to put the lid on the box just so I can show you. how little the box is. Look at that. That's all it is. And this is an amazing game. The front of the box has the UV, spot UV, I think they call that, on these people, and on the word Tungaru, so it's just gorgeous. I hope you can, that shows on the camera a little bit, and a lot of people like to see the back of the box, and there's that, back of that box. And I'm telling you what, folks, this is an excellent, excellent little Euro game. It's little and it plays huge. Man. Oh, I'm excited about this game. This is, again, one of the best games I've played in a long, long time. I know that I've watched some other reviewers that weren't very crazy about this game, but I don't know what they're missing. This game really, really is excellent, and gosh, I couldn't wait to tell you about it. And that's it. That's my review of Tungaru. It's totally excellent. It gets a big, big thumbs up from me. It's an excellent Euro game. I don't know. I don't know what else I can say about it. Again, when you're playing this game, the options are so many, and that's why it took 90 minutes for 2 players. You just have so many options and things you can do that you end up really thinking quite long. This can be very analysis paralysis inducing, this game, because your options are many. And you're trying to weave together so many things to maximize the end result at the end of the game and get as many points as you can possibly get. Man, this board is so pretty and the tiles are pretty. Wow, and it's just a little tiny board, doesn't take up much space on the table. I love that. Wow, I can't say enough about it. Yeah, that's Tungaru. It's a 2020 game by Louis and Stefan Maltz. Yeah. Wow, what a great game. I hope you guys get a chance to play it. Thanks for watching. I love every one of you. I hope you're being safe until all these inoculations get to everybody. Please like and subscribe. And I wanted to thank you again, everyone. I think we're up to 620 something subscribers now. That's amazing. I love every one of you guys, and you've been liking my videos. That's very important to us, for you to push that like button, and that moves the videos up and makes them appear in YouTube further up the line. Thank you so much for that. I'm humbled by your effort to do so. I appreciate it very much. Watch for our next installment of our top 100 games. We're down to our last 20, and we're busy putting together that video. But with the holidays and everything, it's getting very difficult to do so. But I want to tell you about this game because I don't know if it's going to be in game stores and show up on sale or something for the holidays, and maybe you can pick that up. But you can feel free to do that. Have a great day. I'll see you next time on The Bones Collector. Bye-bye. Oh, keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet, and this is proof right here. Little tiny box that plays like a Goliath. See you later. Bye-bye.